Hello guys, I'm Nelson from Nelcity Technologies. Welcome back to our channel. So if you are new here, kindly subscribe to our channel and watch all our videos to the end, and hope you get to learn one or two things. And to our loyal subscribers and our loyal clients and to also our loyal viewers, thank you so much for the support to this point. You've really been a great support to Nelcity Technologies, to our growth as a brand, and we appreciate those who have been viewers to clients. Today we want to do another very interesting video. I know it's been a while since we posted something really educative, but we are back. We are back with something so interesting that normally affects most of our clients. We call it data backup. So every day we experience challenges. A client complaining they've lost data, or maybe they've lost their laptop with data in it, or their phone with data in it. So this video is for everyone owning any device that holds data, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a phone, whether it's a desktop, whether it supports Windows OS, Mac OS, or Android, or any other OS version. This video is for you. Okay, so keep tuned to the end and hope you get to learn. So I'll start by simply defining what is a data backup. So a data backup is simply a copy of your data stored to another place that isn't your main source. So that's simply a basic definition. So as an example, maybe I have songs in my laptop. Having a backup means the same copy of the songs, I'll have them also stored somewhere else. Just in case I lose this data, I can simply get it from the place where I've stored it and restore it back to my computer. Most people normally ignore this essential practice, backing up of data. So we have different ways you can back up your data, majorly 3 ways, of which we'll focus on two of the major ways. So the first way you can back up your data is called local backup. Local backup. And the second way we'll look at, which we'll also focus majorly on, is cloud backup. And the last form of backup is called the system restore backup, of which for that we'll not majorly go into it because it's slightly complex, but I'll prepare an independent video of the same, but it will be slightly technical. So today I just want to be as simple as possible so that everyone can understand, whether you are technical in the IT field or you are just a normal person using a laptop for day-to-day activities. So we'll look at those 3 major definitions of the 3 types, but we'll focus on the 2 types of backup, the local and the cloud backup. So to start with, what is a local backup? A local backup simply means storing your files into a physical device. Okay, so the device can either be an external hard drive, it can be a USB drive, or as most of us call it, flash disk. It can be a CD drive. Most of you may not know what is a CD drive, but I'll show you how it looks like. And any other device, maybe an SSD drive that is external, and so many other external devices. So we'll do also an illustration of the same to see how these devices look like and how will you be able to transfer the files. Now I'll start by showing you each of some examples of the devices, then we get to see how they work. So first, this is a CD drive. It's called a CDR, meaning you can write on it but you can't delete what you've already recorded here. So most of you have seen this. There's a technology being faced off with time, but it's good and efficient for storage. So you can back up your files to this device, then you keep them somewhere safe. Okay, that's the first one. Secondly, we have a USB drive or flash disk. So the shape doesn't matter, it's only the work that matters. So we have different shapes like this one and sizes. So this one is 128 GB and this one is 2 GB. So it looks like this. We also have this other type. Have you ever seen this? So this is called a micro SD, also for storage, or simply people call it memory card. So that's it, memory card. Another important device is the external hard drives. So they come with the different shapes. They can be slightly bigger or slightly smaller, especially if you have the SSD type. So the company doesn't matter. The essence is what we are using for illustration. So hard drives are also essential for storage of data. All these are really essential for backing up your data. You find most of us, let's say I've backed up all my documents here. Maybe I have a thesis or a project documentation. I've stored it here, and I've also stored it in my flash disk, and I've also stored it in my disk drive. So you find someone says they have backed up data to these gadgets, and you keep walking around with your laptop and all this in the same bag. That's not backing up, because one, if let's say your bag is stolen, it means your laptop is gone, one, and all these devices are gone. So there is no backup at all you've done. Okay, so having data in your laptop and having a backup in maybe the external drive or this other USB simply means store them at different locations. Maybe I'm a teacher. This I'll store at the school premises in my desk, and this I can store in my house. Okay, this maybe in my bedroom. Get it? So it should be in different locations. That's now the essence of backup. This device have a copy of all your documentations or important files, but you store them at different locations, so that in case of anything, in case the main gadget is lost, you can still access this without interference. Because another example, if we store all these gadgets in the house and maybe the house catches fire sort of due to maybe electrical faults, it means all our data is gone, so we don't have a backup. That's why it is advisable to store these backups at different locations. Okay, so most of us normally have a hard time using a flash disk, because I've seen it with so many of my clients. Yes, people know what a flash is, but using it now becomes a challenge. Copying data to the flash drive becomes a challenge. So first, I'll do a simple illustration of how backing up in this flash drive works, because this is the most common. You can also use this to back up files in your phone. These are micro SD, but for flash disk, if you want to back up from your phone, you'll have to use an OTG. OTG is basically a device like this. So if I want to use it for my phone, I'll have to take the flash and insert it to the OTG first. Come one thing. So I'll simply insert the flash to the OTG drive. Then from there, I can use it. I can now use it to copy data from my phone. As simple as that. So the flash disk joined with the OTG gadget, then into my phone. So OTGs come in many shapes and forms. We have the cabled ones like this one, just like this other one. The flash port is here, the USB drive port here. So I can also insert the flash here. See, they become one. Then I insert this to my phone. So I can now back up all my data to the flash drive. Also this other one, I can also insert the flash drive to that point. They become one thing, and I get to insert it to my phone, so I can comfortably back up my data from the phone to the flash drive. Now I want also to illustrate how to copy your data from your laptop to the flash drive. In this case, I'm using a 2 GB flash drive. So the size of the flash drive will depend on the amount of data you want to back up. So after you've inserted the flash disk, you'll move to the File Explorer down here, or simply press Windows E button. Then you move to this PC so that you can see the drives in the machine. So local disk C is for my personal laptop, and now the flash is here. So this one is 2 GB of space, but currently it already has some of my data inside. So as you can see, it's 181 MB free. So if I move here, you can see I have some of my documents in here. But now we want to create a backup of our files. So from the desktop, let's say as an example, I have this folder here is called City Cyber. You can see I have my files inside. So I'll copy the folder with all the contents in it. So I right click. When I right click, I say copy, or I can simply press Ctrl C, shortcut to copy, then move back to my flash drive. Here, select that, and I right click, then select on paste. So when I paste, you can see data moving towards it. So here, when I refresh, you can see my folder is is in my USB drive. Okay, so here it is. And if I open the folder, it also has all the documents that I've copied from my machine. So basically, it's essential you label your backed up files well. So I can say, let me rename this to Nelcity Cyber Products Backup. So that's a good one, so that I can easily remember whenever I visit this flash disk where I've stored it. I can easily remember that this is a backup for my products that are online. Okay, then it's also essential you label your devices or your external drives. So let me call this also backup. So I can rename it to Nelcity Backup 1. So basically it will be so easy to move through the flash disk, especially if I have several of them. So I can simply look at this. When I insert it to the machine, I can see this my backup one, so I'll automatically know the type of contents I backed up in that machine or that drive. Okay, so that's how easy it is to back up from your flash. Then essentially, after finishing using the flash disk, it's essential that you eject. You use the eject method down here to safely, you can see this, safely eject your drive from the machine. So basically that's it, and you can now do other forms of backups to other drives. There are also some tips that you need to consider when doing the local backup of your data. So first, ensure you do proper naming of your drive. For this, as you have seen there, it's called USB drive D, but you can call it backup or you can rename it to any other way you like. And also ensure your files are well organized in terms of naming the folders and the files. For example, you can have a folder written Nelcity 1, maybe for all the files that Nelcity deal with, and you can also have another one called Nelcity 2 or Nelcity field to show you all the client names or documentation for all your clients that you normally meet during your day-to-day fieldwork. So naming of your flash drive and your folders, arranging them in a correct way, helps manage your data and also makes your work easier. And another thing, always ensure your machine has an antivirus to protect you from malware and viruses, because flash drives are normally sensitive. And also disconnect them properly by ejecting from the Windows menu and keeping your devices or drives safe. And just to repeat my point, don't keep your data backups in one place, because that will no longer be a backup. Keep them in separate places. We are moving on to the next thing, which is cloud backups. From the word cloud, is something stored to great heights. Okay, so basically cloud backups are data that you store in servers over the internet. So we have different servers and different cloud storage services that you can use to back up your data offshore. Meaning, as an example, let me give simple explanation. Let me use an example for your Gmail. Gmail is simply a way of communication in that you have a mail sent to you. The mail can be having some documents. Where is that document stored? So mail is something just imaginary. Okay, you can't touch the email. Even if you can access it, you can't physically touch it. Okay, so it's something that transacts over the internet. Okay, from one server to another. So for me to get my email, I can log in using a friend's phone to my Gmail and access my emails. I can access it from my laptop, from any other laptop. So it means cloud storage helps us to access our data from anywhere as long as we are connected to the internet. So we have examples of cloud storages like the Google Drive. I know most of you have heard of it because you have Gmails. So we have the Google Drive, we have the OneDrive. For those normally using Windows, you've also heard of it, OneDrive. Then we have iCloud. For those who have MacBooks and iPhones, you have heard of that. And also we have Dropbox. So Gmail, or let me say the OneDrive, normally give you 15 GB free space of online storage or cloud storage. Then we have the OneDrive, normally give you about 5 GB of storage. Same to iCloud, and the Dropbox normally give you around 2 GB of storage. So all that space is free, but whenever you exceed, like this normally affects mostly the Gmail. People have had an experience of it. So if you exceed the 15 GB of space, you'll be forced to, one, buy bigger storage if you want the space to be bigger, because when it's completely full, you'll no longer receive your emails. So you'll have the option of, one, deleting the irrelevant backups you have over the years, or buying bigger space. And this is what is ideal. You need to buy bigger space because already it's a backup. You can't delete what you've backed up, especially when it's really important, like you've backed up a copy of your title deed and your certificates. You can't delete them, whether it gets to be decades or how many years down the line. You can't delete your school certificates, you can't delete your title deed copies. So there are essential documents that you can't delete. So you'll be forced to buy a bigger storage space from Google Drive. Okay, so I'll show you an example of how Google Drive works, but for this case I'll do a screen recording so that you can clearly see the practical view of how each of them work. You can use any browser, or you can simply download the software itself. Either you go for Google Drive desktop, or you can access it as an app from your phone. So before we do the illustration, let's talk of some of the advantages. You can access your data from any device as long as you are online. Secondly, it does your backup. You can make it automatic so that it does the backup in real time, although you can also do it manually. That's another advantage. But all this should happen, there are some precautions you need to take. As an example, you need to use strong passwords, because remember, as long as you are online, you are always vulnerable to hacking or any other cybersecurity attacks. So you need to have strong passwords for your accounts, whether it's Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox or iCloud, you need to have a strong password, mix of characters and letters and patterns. And also, you need to have two-step verification or authentication. The two-factor authentication means if I have my password and I'm signing in to my Google Drive, when I enter the password, correct, I will log in. But before I log in, it needs a verification from your device, maybe an OTP digit for you to insert, then you can now log in. So it is simply a two-step verification. You first enter the password, then a verification code, then you can now access your data. So it is very, very crucial to do that. So let's do an illustration. I'll majorly based on Google Drive. So I'll do an example of how you can upload a file to your drive. Okay, so let's dive into it and see how it works. Now we want to do an illustration of how to do cloud backup. So for this case, we'll use Google Drive as an example. So first, I open Chrome. You can open any other browser of your choice. For my case, I'm using Chrome. So I'll say Google Drive. So search at the top here, Google Drive. So you can see there, I'll click on that link, Google Drive. So as you can see, it says store and share files online, meaning this one can be a good backup for you to store all your data online, especially the important ones, because remember you have a limited free space of 15 GB. So for this case, only select the most important items that you want to backup. So I'll sign in, and remember for my case I'm already logged into Chrome, so I'll sign in at this point. So it will get to load that site for us to see what's happening. So for this case, as you can see currently, let me show you this window. So currently, let's read here. I have at this point, let me highlight, I have 90% of storage used. So if I run out of storage, I need to buy more storage. So you can see at this point, get 30 GB of storage for 27 shillings per month for 3 months. So it means for 3 months I'll be paying roughly 27 shillings, or let me say 30 shillings, because this just an offer. This is an offer from Gmail. But for my case, I don't need that. I'm just going to do an illustration of how we back up. So moving back to this point, you can see I've used 13.6 GB of 15 GB. Okay, so Google Drive normally give you 15 GB of storage. So currently I've used 13.6. So to store those important files that you need, like for my case, I've stored several things from notes to pictures to documents. So I'll create at this point here, create new. So follow my cursor. At this point, if I want to create a new folder, I can, and also I can also create a new file. So for this case, let me do an illustration of file. So I'll click on this and let me move to my desktop. And so at this point you can choose any location where your file is located, or maybe create a new file. So for this case, let me use this one for illustration. Sticker cutout. So sticker cutout. Then I open it. So if you move down here on your left side, it's loading. Sticker cutout JPG starting upload. So the speed of this upload will depend on the speed of the network. Currently my network is a little bit slow, but eventually it will upload. As that goes on, we can also do an illustration for uploading a folder. So for folder 2, we'll move to this point, then say folder. Then we can select a folder that we need. You can also create a new folder with your files here, and maybe let's call it city. Okay, we'll call it city. Then maybe our city has some files that we need to. So this folder here, we'll upload it. This folder called city, for example, we'll click on upload. So remember this, it says this will upload all files from city. Only do this if you trust. So we upload. So you can see here we have the sticker cutout uploading and this other one also uploading. So as you can see, we have managed to upload the sticker cutout and the city folder. So I'll move this side to my drive, and after it refreshes, you can see I have the folder city here. And if I scroll through the documents, so I can open this sticker cutout, and you can see. So this has been uploaded to my drive. I can also search here sticker. So you can see when I search, I easily get access to it. You can also use OneDrive. And also use OneDrive, which is linked to your personal Microsoft account. So you can create a free account or sign in if you have an account. You can also use Dropbox. So Dropbox here told you have around 2 GB free space where you can back up your data. My network is a bit sluggish. So here you have Dropbox. You can start a free trial where you have 2 GB of storage, or you can simply purchase storage. And also you have iCloud storage. which you can actually use. Okay, this for Mac. So you can see here it provides users with free 5 GB of cloud data like photos, files, and backup. So you can back up all your photos, contacts, and use the 5 GB of storage. So basically, those are some of the storages that you need to use while backing up your data from the online services. It is safe, it's secure, and you only need to create strong passwords for your logins when creating the new accounts. So you can access it from any other device, whether it's your phone, whether it's your computer, your television, your smart TVs, so anywhere. And that will be it for today. Our third type of backup is the full system image restore backup. So mostly, some of you have experienced a situation where your Windows crashes and you go into blue screen of death. Your machine goes into the blue screen of death window. So at that point, you get to wonder what you can do. So there's normally a way you can back up your machine completely and create a restore point. Okay, so you create a restore point so that in case your machine crashes, you'll have a complete backup of your machine, or let me call it a snapshot. Snapshot simply means the way your machine is organized, you are now having a copy of it somewhere. Okay, a restore point. So this normally works in a way that you need to have, the best way is to have an external drive that is twice bigger than your usual storage. For example, my machine is, let's say, 500 GB of space. So to back up that, to completely back up that system, I'll need something bigger than that. Let me say 1 terabyte or something slightly bigger than 500 GB, so that I'll have a complete restoration copy of my machine to that external drive. It normally takes 30 minutes to more than an hour, depending on how much data you will be having on your machine. So for this case, I'll just mention it, but we'll do a complete illustration in our next video. So kindly keep tuned, stay tuned to our channel, follow our videos, so that in our next shot we'll give a way on how to do it technically but step by step, so that everyone can understand it in a layman's form. Okay, because the essence of our video is to make something to a basic understanding, so that everyone at all levels can understand what we are trying to illustrate. So for today, we are focusing on the local backup and the cloud backup, because those are the major types of backup that we've had an issue with, especially concerning our clients. Basically, today we've focused on two types of backup: the local type of backup using the drives like USB and hard drives, and cloud type of backup. So in our next point, I want us to basically look at the best practices and the common mistakes we normally do. For example, as a mistake, we've already mentioned storing all your backups in one place. That's a major mistake people do. Okay, so one of the best practices you should be doing is automating your backup. Let's say OneDrive, just make it to be automatic, so that every time you create something new, it uploads to the cloud. Okay, another thing is always verify your backups regularly, because let me say, always verify and update your backups regularly. Even if I'm storing this flash drive in my house, let's say I've created new files today, so when I move back to the house, I should update the contents of this drive. Okay, then always keep one copy offline. Offline means local backup, and always keep another copy online using the online services. Okay, and another thing is, and this is very important, start today. Don't wait to buy a flash drive tomorrow. Start today. Come to Nelcity Technologies and buy a flash drive and keep all your important documents. Also, keep copies of your files online. So essentially, you need to have copies offline and online, local backup and cloud backup. So using both can help you get out of so many troubles. Whether your computer gets stolen or catches fire or get misplaced, you will be very much safe, and you will be able to keep your deadlines when it comes to your workplace or school projects. So don't be like those students who normally they are to present their project tomorrow, and something bad happens. They don't even have a copy of their project. They don't know where to start, and therefore give up in life. So don't be like those confused students. You can make a change today. Visit us at Nelcity Technologies, and we shall guide you on the right way to do your backups. We shall give you affordable USB drives so that you get to be assisted on how to use them, and also to back up your files and important data. So that's essentially why we as Nelcity are here doing this video today, to educate you and also inform you to take an action today. Thank you so much for viewing the video up to this point. If it was really educative, kindly like, share the video, and subscribe to our channel. We are Nelcity Technologies. We give you the best deals in town. Great deals at affordable prices.